minus episode 3, each episode has just been getting better and better.
But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
Yeah, that was a really good episode. The only issue I have with it is that from the beginning of the introduction to the Naboo Starfighter to him taking it on its first ride did take a while. I get like showing all that stuff was like really cool, but we didn't even see Boba Fett. We saw Fennec Shan at the very end. Where do I want to put this? Do I think this is better than the... I mean, I do think... The lore we got behind Mandalore was really cool. And Din being kicked out of that Mando covert is pretty big. So yeah, I think this is better than the last episode. I'll say episode 5, The Return of the Mandalorian, is... I'm going to give that like a 9.2. So, we get Mando right away, taking out what seemed to be the leader of one of the groups that Boba met with, but I'm not sure if that's who that is, because I don't think he was on Tatooine when he did that. So I think it's just the same race, because I don't think the guy that Boba Fett met up with had like the piercings on his face. But Din fought with the Darksaber for the first time, and we find out that it's like really heavy, and he needs to like fight with it. That's what we learned when he trained with the armorer. But he cut himself with it and then came back to the armorer, found out their hiding place on basically this halo ring, which is really fucking badass. And it was the armorer and then Taz Vizsla, I think was his name, a descendant of Tar Vizsla. When Din pulled out the Darksaber, I could, like, his eyes like looked directly towards it, the Vizsla guy, and he wanted that shit. And he ended up fighting Din and lost. After this happened, Din told the armorer that he removed his helmet, and then he basically got kicked out of the covert. And the only way he could make it up is if you worked the like water mines of Mandalore or something like that. But since those got bombed to hell, he's just out. He also had like, I think these like little chain links made for Grogu. And then he had to melt down the Mandalorian spear because armor said like, this can pierce Beskar. The Mandalorian spear, the Beskar spear, and the armorer said that needed to melt that down because that can penetrate Beskar. So that in itself being created is a danger to Mandalorians, which kind of makes sense. And then we go from that to him getting kicked out to then, I thought he was going to lose the Darksaber when he was on that transport. I could have swore that was going to happen. It didn't, surprisingly, which I'm glad they went that route. Which, I guess, if that was a big thing, I guess there was really no reason to show all that. Just show him getting on the transport and then getting off. But I guess it was kind of also like, here's all the weapons Mandalorian has on him. Look how badass he is. It made me think of Pirates of the Caribbean. When, in the third movie, when they're like putting all their weapons on a plate when they're going to see that one guy in Singapore at the very beginning. But after that, Din went back to Tatooine. That one chick, Pelimoto, that's who it was. Pelimoto, we get a lot of her this episode. She was pretty funny with it. Apparently she dated a Jawa. That's something. Apparently they're furry. They're not a furry. They are furry. Either way, that's kind of interesting. Din gets an N1 starfighter. The ships that Anakin rode, piloted, whatever you want to say, in episode 1.
Now this is pod racing.
That he destroyed a battle station with. And they basically like but beefed it up. I think they added more weapons. There's like an engine in the middle, like it's a freaking muscle car, and apparently it just moves. So that's really cool. The only thing about this episode that I didn't like was the length it took for all the Starfighter stuff. I loved it. I think it was really cool, but I wish they would have got to the Boba Fett stuff sooner. And it ends off with Din saying, I gotta go drop off something to someone. So we're not going to see Grogu. Because I feel like they would have ended with that this episode if they were to show it. But I don't think they're going to. So I think the next 2 episodes are going to be focused on Boba. Which, I mean, this is Book of Boba Fett. So I was hoping we'd see Boba Fett this episode, which we didn't. So that's the, like, other downer, which I think kind of coincides with how long the Starfighter stuff took. Because if that stuff didn't take so long, then we probably would have saw Boba. But that was a freaking banger of an episode. And honestly, if the next 2 episodes get Boba and Din, I think they're going to be much better than this episode. And Pelimoto hinted at like how the Pikes taking over, they've like made everything worse around, it seems like. So it seems like it's been a little bit of time since the end of the last episode, because the Pikes were kind of just getting there at the end of that episode. And then I think it was mainly just Fennec waiting to find Din. And then I wonder if Boba is out trying to get someone else. Maybe Boba is going to go get some bounty hunter buddies for the next couple episodes. That would be kind of sick. But the Mandalorian stuff was really bad. It's kind of caught us up on what happened at the end of Mandalorian Season 2. They took Moff Gideon to be questioned at a New Republic station. We don't really know about Bo-Katan. I mean, I guess we did also find out that if the Darksaber isn't taken through combat, then a curse is bound to happen. So that's pretty dope. But this episode was so good. This episode was so good. What do I think is going to happen next? So I think Din's going to show up to Boba. I don't think we're going to see Grogu or all that stuff. I wish we could have seen Grogu and Luke Skywalker, but the amount of effort it would have taken to have Luke Skywalker visibly appear for like a minute or 2 just for us to have what we want is understandable, because that just take so much extra time just for this episode alone. So I guess I kind of understand it. But so Boba and Din are going to meet up after Din gets back from his little trip over to Grogu, giving him his gift, which I think is all those like little rings. And then I think they're probably going to try to get one other group or maybe person or 2 of muscle, and then they're going to start on their war with the Pikes. But they're saying they're going to war, but I feel like the war is going to last an episode and a half, so it's not really going to be a war. So I hope things start to get going, because I don't really want more setup of them finding other muscle. I kind of want Boba to be like, I made a couple calls and then the people walk in the door, stuff like that. Maybe the muscle he gets is some Tuskens. That'd be really badass too, because then he could show his gaffy stick and maybe he would earn their respect, like, oh, he's one of us. And Din knows how to speak Tusken. But who baby, that was a great episode, and these last 2 episodes are going to be so good. At minus episode 3, each episode has just been getting better and better. Episode 1, episode 3, episode 2, episode 4, episode 5. That's how I rank it from 5 to 1 right now. Whew. And just seeing the shape of Din right away, that was so good. And then unfortunately my camera's been fine now, but unfortunately my camera died right as Din cut the dude in half. Which, holy shit, that was amazing. It's good to see Din back, and it was so obvious it was Din because the Beskar spear that was sticking up. But unfortunately he only has a Darksaber, and he needs to learn how to use that, because with the weight of it, he needs to work with it, and he didn't do so hot with the Beskar spear, the Darksaber, this episode. But I think he's going to get pretty damn good with it in season 3 of Mandalorian. But this is Book of Boba Fett, and we're going to kill some Pikes in the next couple episodes. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please click like, and if you want to see some more content, please subscribe. The more likes and subscribes I get, I'll more than likely create more content for this channel. So if you want to see some more, please show your love and comment below what you think of this episode. I think it was a damn good episode, and next couple of weeks are going to be very nice to Star Wars fans. I want to thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.